Good afternoon. It's 2:14 Eastern. I'm going to try to. I know a lot of you guys are savvy and you understand this stuff, and you probably don't need me to, but I'm doing this live stream to explain what the heck is going on with Barr right now. Hey guys, if you're listening to this back later on, please excuse that I interact with the lovely people in the chat when I do a live stream. Hi, Susie. Hey, Timothy. Wintrell. I know some of these people. This is really great. Hi from Indiana. Awesome. Love you guys too. I love talking to you guys. I really do. I could do an entire live stream just interacting with you guys in chat. So I'm insanely frustrated. And for me, I'm usually very even keeled and pretty grounded. But I'm just, the malfeasance here that we're witnessing is literally driving me insane. And I think that that's the point. I think that that's why all of this is happening. Hi from Indianapolis. Hey from Michigan. Hi, Rhode Island. Hi, Las Vegas and Dallas. Hi, Cam. I'm glad you're here. I hope you stay. Cam says he's new. I was listening to the hearing this morning and I could barely contain myself. We recorded the Dark to Light podcast, and the no news that they were going to hold Barr in contempt came across. And I just wanted to go through a brief timeline with you guys, go through some of the things that are going on, and explain what this is all about. So basically, it started with the House Judiciary Committee wanting to question Barr, but they wanted to do it not the members themselves. They wanted it to be attorneys and other people. And I went through this morning on the podcast, Undercover Huber on Twitter. I should probably find it. I'll show you. Yesterday, he shared who some of these people were. Who some of the people were. They were crazy partisans that basically, were decided on collusion and treason months ago. So anyway, so they wanted to bring in Barr to be questioned by those people, and Barr said, no, not happening. It's not going to happen. And so they started getting angry and throwing a temper tantrum. And then, they said, well, we want to see the completely unredacted Mueller report, all of it. We want to see the whole thing. Never mind that Barr had already given them a wildly less redacted Mueller report that they could all go and view in a skiff, and nobody did. Nobody went. Nobody did. And yeah, everything they do is on purpose. So nobody went. And I just want to make something really clear. I'm obviously a conservative, libertarian. I'm obviously a Trump supporter. But if we were sitting here, if you guys listened to the show that I put on YouTube yesterday, you'll hear I call Trump out at the end for not doing enough about the censorship on social media. If we were sitting here and this was about the Republicans doing something crazy, I'd be talking about it too. Okay. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that. This is not a partisan thing, even though I'm referring to them as they, because it's just true. So they want the unredacted Mueller report, which would include the 6E material, which is the grand jury testimony. And there's a very important reason why we don't let that out. The old regulations under the Starr report and the Starr Council, which is what Nadler likes to invoke all the time in these hearings. He brings up the Starr investigation and Bill Clinton and blah, 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 forgetting to tell everybody that he's the reason why those laws changed. He was one of the people who was responsible for getting the legislation passed to change those laws. So there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm seeing your comments fly by. So what I'm going to do is just turn my head so I can just get through this, and then we'll go back to the comments because you guys are so awesome that I'm getting distracted. This is the problem. This is why I don't do these often. So basically, They want the 6E material. We don't give the 6E material because they changed the regulations on special counsel after all these people got drugged through the mud with all this personal stuff going out, especially when they're not implicated in any crime. For example, one of the things that somebody pointed out that I had said in my video going over the letter that was written to kind of set some precedent on what is privileged and what isn't privileged. It was the Emmett Flood letter that I dissected over the weekend. Said, in the United States of America, you are presumed to be innocent. There is no exonerating going on because it's already assumed from the very beginning that you are innocent. So there is no exonerating. And if you go in front of a grand jury and you talk to them and you're honest with them and you tell them you don't have any representation sitting in front of a grand jury, you're just sitting there in front of the grand jury and the prosecution is asking you questions. If you tell the truth in there and there's nothing there for a crime and the grand jury chooses not to indict you, or you were just a fact witness in front of the grand jury, then releasing what you said in there, how many people do you think are going to be sitting there in front of a grand jury telling the truth anymore if all they do is weaponize grand jury testimony and release it for political purposes? What they're doing here is absolutely abhorrent, anti-American, plainly, and disgusting. There's been a series of letters that have gone back and forth. Nadler writes a letter to Barr saying, we're not going to work with you anymore, even though the DOJ, Barr, and them, they've been going back and forth, and Barr is saying, I will allow for the report to be available for more people. I'll allow the report to be available for everyone. That's the more redacted report. He was willing to bend, move, stretch any way these people wanted in the interest of transparency. And I want to just make clear, under the regulations, he was not responsible to release this report at all. Barr, under the law, could have kept that report close to his vest and said, not guilty. And that would have been it. And there would have been nothing else they could have done. Sure, they would have tried things. But if you get in front of a judge, which is what a lot of the argument in this committee was today, you get in front of a judge and try and argue this contempt filing. See what happens. They don't care about the letter of the law. They don't care about regulations. They don't care that they're complete hypocrites. They don't care. All they are interested in is power. That is all these people seek: power over you, power over the country, to turn this place into the blistering hellhole it would become if they took more power than we already lost with the House of Representatives. I want you guys to watch what happens in the House of Representatives very closely, because it should be everything and anything that you need to be able to go out and vote your little hearts out for every Republican that you can possibly find, who we know is not a verifiable swamp rat. Because as we can see in the case of the Romneys of the world, it's not going to matter. They're going to vote with the left anyway. If an impeachment vote came up today, guess who would do it? Guess who would vote for impeachment? Mitt Romney. Now, let's get into some more kind of minutia here about what is true and what isn't true. They were demanding that Barr release the unredacted Mueller report, completely unredacted, with all of the 6E material included and all of the underlying documents and all of the other things that go along with it. Now, first of all, as it stands right now, that is against the rules. We'll talk about Ray in a second. Everyone hang in there. As things stand right now, that is against the rules. It's against the law. They're asking and demanding the Attorney General of the United States of America break the law to bend at their whim. Now, outside of that, and the fact that he didn't have to release anything, the White House, as we talked about in that letter, when working inside of the Department of Justice, which is a co-equal branch, it's under the executive, not a co-equal branch, it's under the executive. The White House, when working with the DOJ, waived their privilege to accommodate the special counsel's criminal investigation. He did not waive privilege for every last piece of information ever again. Certainly not that has to do with Mueller. Certainly not. But in regards to his cabinet members, his personal attorneys, his White House chief of staff, his anybody that used to work, he has not waived privilege on that. There is a way that our government functions, and it's when people can trust that they can speak freely to the chief executive of the United States without worrying about political attack, criminal issues, people politicizing their information, etc. So the one card that they had left, not the one card they had left, but one card they were willing to play next, was that if they went forward and held the Attorney General of the United States in contempt because he refused to break the law, that they would assert executive privilege to protect the entire report. And that's what happened today. The House Judiciary Committee that should strip the name judiciary from the middle of it voted to hold Barr in contempt, and immediately thereafter, the president invoked privilege. So now executive privilege has covered the entire thing, and good luck. Good luck trying to get past that, guys. Good luck. Because he gave and gave and gave and gave and gave, and now he's finished. Now he's finished. He's not giving any more. That's it. So what's happening right now? They're trying to do everything and anything they can to get rid of Barr. Why? Because Barr's holding them accountable. Their investigation's ongoing. Tomorrow, I believe, is the 2-week mark from Joe DeGeneva on the Huckabee fill-in for Laura Ingraham, saying that there would be a Comey report released, which is interesting timing because today Jim Comey is going to do a town hall because former FBI directors consistently, grace the airwaves to do town halls after they are fired in disgrace. The American people, go to James Comey's timeline, take a look at what he has to say and see how many people on both the left and the right appreciate Jim Comey. So they voted to hold Barr in contempt for not breaking the law, which is just the epitome of everything American. I mean, really, these people are evil. There's no other word. Completely evil. And last night, there was actually a senator or a member who said that he should have the sergeant at arms for the committee should arrest Barr, drag him into the hearing, and make him sit there until he speaks. This is what we're dealing with. How anybody in this world could even potentially and then you've got all kinds of people claiming obstruction. He's obstructing justice right now. People are morons. Obstructing justice how? The whole report was released to the public. It didn't have to be. That was a gift. You should have just accepted it. There were literally hardly any redactions, only redactions going with ongoing investigations. So they tried to get Barr to recuse himself from overseeing the ongoing investigations. They tried to make the argument that the man that they praised as overseeing this entire investigation, special counsel investigation, was too conflicted to make a decision on obstruction when he was the one overseeing the entire probe. So if he's too conflicted to make a decision on obstruction, how is it that he's overseeing the entire probe? Someone said, imagine if Sessions was still AG. Yikes. I agree. Yikes is right. It was Cohen. Yes. Thank you, guys. It was Cohen last night saying that they should haul Barr in front of can you imagine? Can you just imagine? Crazy. I'm just almost silent. Now, this doesn't mean that nothing's happening. This means, to the contrary, that everything is happening, which is why they're frantically running around like chickens without a head, doing everything and anything they can to obstruct. They're obstructing. Projection has never been sweeter. I mean, it's constant. This is all these people do is project their wrongdoing on other people. I feel like we live in an upside down world. These people are sick. What we're witnessing is so beyond the pale, so disgusting. Members of the House of Representatives eating fried chicken in the middle of an important hearing in the House Judiciary Committee. Give me a break. It's just disgusting. So that's what happened today in regards to Barr. Now, Barr is not going to take any crap, and he's the exact opposite of Christopher Wray. And let me tell you something. I was not pissed off per se. Like, everybody was really angry at Christopher Wray, and I can list you a myriad of reasons why I dislike Christopher Wray, because I do. I dislike Christopher Wray times 70. I don't like him. I think he's smarmy. I just don't like him. I've said it a million times. But his statements on spying, or the lack thereof, the lack of that word, his statements on that were not the way they're being portrayed. At the end of it, when what's her name? What's her name with the K? I'm forgetting her name. The one who had originally asked about the spying, asked Christopher Wray about the spying. And he's like, well, that's not a term that I would use. And it looked like he was going to, sell out the department. And then he clarified. He's like, she says, so I guess that's a no then. I love this. Yes or no answers, please. Yes or no. Like, these questions that are being asked are like one word answers that you can just... These people are just, the Republicans, as messed up as a lot of them are, don't play these games like this. It wasn't Kamala. It was, no. Shaheen. No, it wasn't Shaheen. Was it Shaheen? It was Shaheen. Yeah, it was Shaheen. Sorry, guys. It was Shaheen. So Shaheen is sitting up there asking Ray, and then Ray responds and says, that's not a word that I would use. And then she says, so then your answer is no. And what they're trying to do is they keep trying to reinforce that everything that the FBI did was legal and lawful. So they'll start off and they'll say, oh, do you think it's okay when the FBI conducts legally authorized surveillance on other people? Do you think it's okay when they're conducting legally authorized surveillance of an opposing political campaign based on a dossier that was paid for by the Democratic National Committee and also by Obama? Do you believe that it's okay to use the word spy? My God. Spy. Ugh. The horror. Give me a break. And so Chris Wray is like, well, I wouldn't use that word, which was stupid because he's smarmy and his job is to protect the reputation of the FBI, which is a problem. But I'm not upset about it the way a lot of people are because of the end of his answer. The end of his answer was, we have to make sure that everything that we do is done by the book. He couldn't get it out. He couldn't get it out. You want to know why? He couldn't get it out because she didn't want that to be on the record. She didn't want him to be able to correct her and say that it's important that everything's done by the book. So that is why I'm not upset with Christopher Wray, because he did say we have to make sure everything was done by the book. Now, another thing, they're not, I have the window open. The wind is blowing. Sorry about that. Another thing is the FBI is not investigating itself in regards to these activities. So Director Wray is not involved in any investigations. The DOJ is doing those investigations. Just make sure you guys understand. I don't, listen, everybody's got their opinions. I'm 50-50 on Rod Rosenstein. I lean both ways, and I talked about the reasons why the other day. I'm just not sure. I just don't know. I mean, the information that we have out there doesn't point towards him being a good guy, but there are some people who are steadfast. Someone said in the comments here, Ray also mentioned that thanks lead star dude. And he's right. Ray also mentioned he personally doesn't have information about what Barr was talking about. He didn't say the evidence doesn't exist, just that he personally doesn't have it. And he wouldn't have it. Absolutely. You guys are so freaking smart. So smart. And look, Rod Rosenstein has joined us in the chat. Rodenstein, I'm sorry. Hello. So we've got him. We've got Christopher Wray, and I listen to and consume hours and hours of content every day. I spend too much time reading. I am constantly immersed in this stuff, and I just don't like him. I just don't like him. So the reason why this is happening, the reason why you're seeing the Democrats hold a law-abiding attorney general in contempt of Congress is because they're so screwed. Straight up screwed. They're done. Seriously. It is like frantic. They do not care what piece of this country they tear down as they fall. They don't care. They don't care about America. They don't care about you. They don't care about illegal immigrants or immigrants. They don't care about people of color. They don't care about minorities in terms of, they don't care about the LGBT community. They don't care about anybody but themselves, their wallets, and taking your freedom away from you. That is all that they care about. That is all that they care about, and saving their own asses as they are exposed is number one. And they will do anything. They will do anything. They look to any level-headed, normal, everyday American, of which there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, several million of. I would say probably half of the country, if not more, who are of age, which I don't know the numbers on, are you guys can email, hold on. Todd, you can email me through my website. Go to tracybeans.com and you can email me. So most normal everyday people can see it's just asinine. You have accomplished legal scholars, like they just don't care. They don't care. They will do anything and everything that they possibly can to ensure or try to stop this avalanche that is on its way to them. So the White House asserts their privilege. Thank you, Boston girl. My goodness. Thank you. Thank you for the super chats, guys. What I've been doing, though, is refreshing on this page all day. This is the Inspector General for the Department of Justice, waiting for a new report to come out above this one, because it's about time. I mean, it just gets worse. Like, I find myself tweeting and I'll show you. Like, oh, I was tweeting about this too. They suspended Carpe Diem. The Krasenstein brothers went after him and it was all over. Because that's not targeted harassment or anything. This is what I'm relegated to. This is my tweeting now. This is my tweeting. You see this? That's what I'm left with. That's my sanity. So I'm really trying my best here to keep it calm and cool and collected. Oh, here's the tweet. Thank you, Todd. Here's the people that Barr wanted, that Nadler wanted to bring up to question Barr. Somebody who said that General Flynn pled guilty to collusion. I just don't see we need a report or something to drop, like, so that I've been biding my time because I feel like it's coming like very soon. And I know that once it comes, I'm going to be so busy, but I'm trying to like keep the air settled and keep the water settled and just keep everybody breathing, right? And it's getting hard to do that because I mean, this is just no. My husband sent me this. Hold on, let me go to it now. He just sent this to me before I came up. New York Senate. Ready? New York Senate approves the bill that would release Trump's state taxes. New York State Senate approved a bill Wednesday that would allow congressional tax committees to request President Donald Trump's state tax returns. State Senator Brad Hoylman, who is sponsoring the legislation, says it would authorize state tax officials to release returns filed by 7 different types of state and federal office holders if requested by congressional committees. Personal income tax, corporation tax, estate tax, real estate tax transfer, and others. Those committees include the House Ways and Means, Senate Finance, and the Joint Committee on Taxation. The legislation applies to returns filed by the president, vice president, senators, the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, or controller. So because President Trump says you don't have any right to take a look at my personal finances, New York State has passed a law, or is about to pass a law, that would allow them to do so. Just without his. Can you understand the privacy implications that has? These people are shredding our country to pieces. To pieces. Anyway. So we talked about that. We talked about Barr. We talked about how smart everybody in the comments are, because they are. We have talked about, what else? Ray, Rosenstein. I was talking to someone the other day. They're like, are we sure that all of the Democrats don't just work for the Russians? Are we sure? Are we sure? I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure. Thanks, Regina. Thank you, Regina. That was really cool. You guys are freaking fantastic. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I'm going to go outside and take a walk, take a deep breath or two. Maybe at like 5 o'clock, the Comey report will drop. Maybe tomorrow we'll get to dig into that together, spend some time. You guys are all fantastic. Next week, I will be in D.C. from Thursday. So if you guys are in the Virginia, D.C. area, Maryland, around there, I think that you should come to Trump International Hotel and spend some time with the crew. Carpe Donktum got suspended from Twitter. He will be there. Hopefully he comes back. I'm going to scream about that quite a bit. And you guys know where to find me on Patreon and all that stuff. You guys are so amazing. You support me so that I can do this full time. And I appreciate all of you guys for being here. And I said you guys way too much. We'll talk to you very soon, okay? Have a good day.